Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. My name is Darlene, and thank you in advance for all those who drop into the live tonight. We will start by doing a week ahead love check in, as the title says. And then, if anybody wants a personal reading, um, those are available. And if you have any particular general questions that relate to metaphysics or esoteric things, spiritual things, I'm here to help with that too. And one of the things I talk about a lot here on my channel is law of manifestation. So those are the topics up for discussion this evening, are open for discussion. And let me get myself pulled up over here on my device so I can see your chat better. And then we will get this party started. There we go. Aw, thank you, Mishy Bear. Welcome in. Happy Sunday to you. um, Thank you. Yeah, well, there's a joke about it. I won't even go there. It's thank you. Thank you. And I'm feeling better every week. I still not 100%, but you know what? I have to give props to, I love my bracelets from Otter Spirit. And so while we're waiting for some people to get here, I have to say that most of you know I've been through a really tough patch this year. I had a sinus procedure, then I had eye surgery. I literally had like a spot on my retina I had to have removed. Then I got sick. Then I moved, and I'm still not 100% settled, but I'm here physically and did all that by myself, by the way, one carload at a time. And so it's been a really tough year for me, but a good year. I mean, it's not bad. Good results from all of those things have come to me. But I have to tell you, one of the things that I have felt really, really supported by is the energy I've got from these beautiful gemstone bracelets from Otter Spirit. I just can't say enough. And it's really been interesting too how some days, depending on what I'm going through and how I feel, as to which bracelets I'm drawn to wear. And I'm not a gemstone expert by any stretch. It's not my particular wheelhouse. I know the general qualities of them, but it is interesting how my body has responded to, well, today this one is the one that you need that will help you the most. And so I have to say that I don't think I anticipated that as being kind of a factor, or such a positive factor, I should say. But it truly has been. I have loved them. I don't go out of the house. Well, I might go take my trash out, but I don't go out of the house without one or 12 of these on because they just I just feel supported. I think that's the best way I can say that. And so I just want to share that because we take these things so for granted sometimes, but it's the little things that support us that are, I think, good self-care that we can do. How hard is it to pop one of these on? And, it can protect us from different negative energies. It can help, our chakras. It can balance our energies. It can do all those things and so much more. Again, I'm only touching the tip of that iceberg. But they're just I just want to say it's been a lovely experience, and I'm so glad that I've had these to help support me through my journey. And so I love Otter Spirit. I think they're a wonderful company. They make good products. They also support marine life and saving the otters. So I just can't say enough good about them. I think they're a fabulous company. And if you're interested in getting your own, they have this regular size. They have the small beaded ones, which I think are so sweet, and I think they have just as much energy, frankly, in the smaller ones as the bigger ones. So, whatever you're comfortable with, and you can wear more of these. I'm just saying. And I noticed lately they've come out with some new products like I think, spheres and, like gemstone spheres. I just wanted to take my time with that word and get it right. So there's just lots of ways, even if you just put one of those on your desk, and I plan to get one of those. So I think it's wonderful that we have these simple things that we can do to help ourselves with self care. So, thank you, Honest Spirit. You guys, there's coupon codes down in the description box if you'd like to do a little self care for yourself. And they just have such a wide selection. And I have to say this, one of my favorite, of course, I have turquoise on today, and I love my little turquoise one. One of my favorite ones has turned out to be the selenite. And I've never seen a selenite in a bracelet form before. And I've talked about this before, but it's just like I'll pick 2 or 3, but that one almost every day, I found that I love wearing that one. I don't know, I'm going off on a tangent, but just kind of waiting for a few people to show up here before we get with our reading. But if you guys want to check them out, please click on that link in my description box, and is just have a shopping spree. Just saying. And supporting good causes while you're at it. Now let me see. Oh, we got some people here. Let's see. Let's see. Who have I not said hello to? Thank you. Can't say Patricia. Oh, thank you, Patricia. That's so very kind. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wow. And Crisnaldo from Croatia. Welcome. Welcome. Good of you to join us. Nope, not Elon Musk's mom. No, no relation. Carlos, I absolutely would pray for someone. I do that every day. Gregory, did I say that correctly? I'm squinting because I don't have my glasses on. Hey, Nancy, good evening. Happy Sunday to you, sweetie. How's life treating y'all? How is everybody? All right. Well, let's get going with our week ahead love reading. Carlos wants us to pray for your sister. Carlos, I will absolutely do that. I have a little prayer list every day. In fact, I will write that down because, I get distracted sometimes. Carlos's sister. So sweet. The other day I'm in Lowe's and Home Depot a lot because I'm renovating my house. And I'm on a first name basis with the lady who is at the registers there most of the time in Lowe's. And we had a conversation. And she doesn't know my name. I know her name, and she said, please pray for my brother because he broke his foot. And I'm laughing because she's so serious, and I was too, because I pray for people, and I put him on my prayer list. And then she finished the conversation with, because I need him to get out of my house. So that's when I was laughing. But Carlos, I absolutely will pray for your sister. She's on my list over here. And whoever else is listening, I hope that they will. And you too, all right? And you too, absolutely. Nancy, thank you so much. It's really heavy, and I like that. I bought this at a gym show here in the Birmingham area. And I remember, I don't know how y'all shop, but I'll go and I'll make my little circuit, and I'll go and see all the vendors and kind of make a mental list. And then I'll go back. And this one was just a standout from the get go. And there's a story with it. The man that made it, who's a silversmith, said, I don't know if you can see, it's got different colors of turquoise around the edges here as well. He said it was was made as a belt buckle for a gentleman for one of his custom made clients. And the man died before he got it finished. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but I guess that wasn't meant to be his. I mean, I didn't say this to the man, but I was thinking, well, lucky me. And, he's in a better place, right? Not to make light of that, but I'm just saying. And so anyway, it needed to come home with me, and I have loved it ever since. And I love turquoise, and um, yeah, it's I don't And it's just so well made. Anyway, I'm rambling tonight, but thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Let me make room here. Now, why don't we get our reading started for the week ahead? And I decided I wouldn't even ask y'all tonight, do a love reading because most of the time y'all want love anyway. But, so, what is the week ahead going to bring my collective audience in love? What's up? And what have y'all been up to? This beer run has a few turquoise items. I almost wore the other one I almost wore was my brother's. Y'all know, y'all hear me talk about him a lot here. He's, he was, you know, he's white and Caucasian as I am, but he was inducted into the Native American Osage tribe when he was younger. And there's so many beautiful artifacts and things that I have. And I'm reaching over here. Most of you know have his eagle feathers and all this intricate, beautiful beadwork down here on these. I mean, those are tiny, tiny beads. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Anyway, my point is, he and his wife had, I presume, I don't know the story, but they were necklaces with turquoise and a bear claw and then silver chains. And I almost wore one of those tonight, but I don't know. It just felt like a turquoise night. So now, yeah, I know. I hear you. Spirit saying, not that deck. That's why. That's why. Okay, let me get the bigger version of that deck. And by the way, I can't wait to share some news about our very own Mishi Bear. Can I say that? I wasn't clear about your message. I'm going to wait. You need to let me know, Mish, if I can share that or if I can share it under another, your nom de plume. Nom de plume. Yes, okay. Well, I wasn't sure if you wanted me to share it with, if it's okay to mention that here or anyway. Okay, so our very esteemed, lovely, treasured Mishi Bear here. I'm going to shuffle these 3 times and then I'm going to stop for a second. Has started her own YouTube channel. Thank heavens. I have been encouraging her for, I don't know, weeks, months to do that. And she finally did. And I'm so proud of her. And I'm so enamored with her readings. I'm telling you guys. And her shorts. Miss, really, do you know why I don't do shorts like that? She has music. She has this beautiful setting for her cards. And it's so well done. And she's right on with her messages, of course. The reason I don't do that is because I'm an artist. And if I started editing videos, that is a hole I would never come out of. I would never get any readings finished because it's just, I love to create so much. So I'm so impressed with her. And there it is. Okay. Her channel is called if you do a search on YouTube, if you put the at symbol before the channel, it pulls it right up. At Grace Happens Daily. And she's put it in the comments there. Wait a second. I just forgot to mute my device there and I was getting a message. Okay. And that's, yeah, Mishi Bear. Her channel's name is at Grace Happens Daily. So guys, go check her out. She's an excellent tarot reader, and I can't wait. We're going to collab sometime this summer when we can get that together, and I'm excited about that. So go support her. She's a fabulous reader. And I can't wait. She's going to do fabulous here. I know it. And she's also unique in that, well, first of all, she's a gifted reader, intuitive, without picking up a tarot deck. And secondly, she's very Christian based, and I love her perspective. And she blends those two worlds so beautifully. Um, so there, okay, she's just making a comment about it. So go check her out. I think you will be very, very pleased, and I'm wishing her so much. She doesn't need luck, but okay, Spirit, let's talk. Let's do this reading here tonight for my collective. What is coming toward my collective in love? Y'all see the deck almost exploded. Ooh, my nose is itching. Let's see. Holy moly. Wow. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, it's going to be a real happy, happy, satisfying week for somebody out there. The Ace of Wands and the Ten of Cups. That's a really rousing, pun intended, start. My goodness. Kidding, not no kidding aside, but Ten of Cups is happiness. It's the family, the dog, the picket fence. It's that kind of happiness. Ace of Wands means a passionate new beginning. Now we're talking about love here. So I don't know who this is, but you might well meet somebody that's gonna get you excited this week. And that you could see yourself having this happily ever after with. My goodness. Aw, thank you, Missy Bear. Thank you for that goat. Aw, love that. Look at him smiling. Oh, how cute. Now, let me see what's underneath, what the story is. Oh, my. Oh, my. You might be tempted to hold back from this person. I'm just saying, y'all. Yeah. And it's interesting. Because I didn't get the Ace of Cups here. I got the Ace of Wands. This talks about action, but passion and something you feel excited about and new. See how the little green sprouts off of that wand? Having said that, though, it is it's very phallic. Um, just a second, I'm getting the story here. Oh, oh, oh. Huh. Hey, beer run. Well, who knows? Who knows? I mean, all kinds of friendships get struck up in these lives. So chat around. You never know who's here and who's listening. I would say put your best foot forward and keep it clean because we're a clean group here. We keep it PG in here. Do you know I'm really conflicted, so I'm going to get some more cards because there's a story under there. I'm going to get more cards. We're going to say there's more to this. There's more to the story. Inquiring minds want to know. All right. Come on. I know there's more to the story. I'd like to know. No, I wasn't looking at the cards having anything to do with you, Beer Run. I was not pulling cards on you personally. I just wanted to let you know that because you're new here. Yeah, that was at the bottom of the deck. I feel this feeling of somebody here is going to want to put, when this comes in, you're going to be inclined to put on the brakes. That was what I was feeling. Because there was a Queen of Cups in reverse at the bottom of the deck and a Chariot in reverse. And so that's backing up what I was feeling. But why? Well, okay. Yeah, because for this is one story is because whoever's going to find this message, there's a certain group of you that this is meant for. And if it's not your story, it's not. But some of you are still harboring, I don't want to say heartache because that card is not here, but some kind of feeling of being either an abandonment issue, an abandonment wound, or maybe you're so focused on because you've got money issues or concerns that you're just not into love right now. And I say that because these cards, Five of Pentacles in reverse, and I feel like you've probably gotten some clarity here about maybe this is I can only handle so much. Most people can do a lot and you can push through just about anything. But the real question is what's sustainable? Can you push through that forever in 10 different things forever? Probably not. And so for many of you, I think you're afraid that when this comes in, I just don't know what I'm feeling here is I don't know if I have the energy or the time or the focus to deal with this new offer here. Because some of you, you're not where you want to be yet. And I can say you probably don't see this coming. You feel like you've been juggling a lot, or this could also mean somebody juggled you in the past. You lost your confidence. You've been disappointed. And here again, this Wheel of Fortune, I can feel this energy. This has to do the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. When it's upright, good fortune. When it's very simple. In the reverse, not so good fortune. But this is a love reading. So this would imply to me that you've experienced some unfortunate history here. But that being said, somebody here is dealing with money issues and you're focused on that. And you're just not sure you have the energy or the wherewithal to deal with a new relationship. I just don't know if I can fight for one more ounce of put forth any more attention there. I think some of you are still bitter. You're trying to decide, well, I don't want that, but what do I want for the long term? Yeah, I think some of you are just deciding I'm going to manifest this stuff. I'm going to manifest my kingdom, meaning money and tangible things. I'm going to boss up. I'm in emperor energy this week, and I'm just focusing on work. Some of you, I mean, now I'm not saying that affects the fact that it's still going to come in. That's meant for you. Um, hey, from Georgia. That's where I was born and grew up in Georgia. So welcome, Fulton. And beer runs. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that was at the bottom of the deck before. And I love that about tarot. If it's meant to come out, it will. Beer runs got abandonment issues. So many of us do. I've been dumped so many times it's safer just to be alone. Oh, honey, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm also not where I want to be, but thank you for confirming the reading. Well, you might and Nancy's saying, I'm focused on my money. Yes. It's kind of where I am too, to be honest with y'all. I'm just really happy where I am and focusing on getting my house straight and, trying to get back here on YouTube. And I mean, honestly, so when this comes in this week, we're going to have to do a little assessment, aren't we? And Nancy saying that's how I felt on Saturday. I was financially, emotionally, physically drained. I was so done on Saturday. Oh, Nancy, bless your heart. If you mean yesterday, I was too. And I wonder what was in the energy of the planets or the Schumann resonance or whatever was going on because and let me share something with you too. And I'll come back to our reading in a second. That I have learned more recently in the last few weeks is that when you have been going through a particular, let's say, I'm going to say long term. Now that's relative. That could be weeks, that could be months, years, of course. But whatever. Hey, James, thank you. Um, Whatever that is relative for you, where you've been under a lot of pressure or stress in a sustained fashion, in other words, what I would call hypervigilance, that really depletes your neurological system in ways that you don't consciously think about. Okay. And it takes a lot longer for that to come back than we realize. Now, I've been experiencing, I actually had to kind of Google this and do a little homework on this. For about 3 Saturdays in a row, Nancy, especially last week and yesterday, I'm doing my thing. I'm pushing through the week. I'm getting stuff done and going and doing. And come Saturday, I'm looking forward to, I don't have to be anywhere. I don't have to do, I can do my painting project. I can do my foyer project. I can do, catch up on my house stuff I'm trying to do here. And instead, what happens is I wake up and feel like I've hit this wall for no reason. I slept pretty good. I didn't have a lot to drink, none of the logical things that would have you waking up almost feeling like you had a hangover. And and so what I did was I did a little digging into that. And what it is the stress from the week, your body, your neurological system says, I can't let go. I can't give into this now. I've got to push through this all during the week. But then come Saturday, it realizes, oh, I don't have to do that today. I can let go. So I have named this now. Feel free to borrow this term. I have named this the Saturday dump syndrome. So feel free to, if that resonates with you, feel free to borrow that. It's my new thing, the Saturday dump syndrome, because that has, it's just been kind of a theme for me. Because I certainly have had to be hyper vigilant all this I've been going through. Yeah. Anyway, back to the reading. Aren't y'all glad you're here? I just have the best stories, ramblings. Yep, yep. All right. So this is exactly backing up my story here at the bottom of the deck. Can't make this up. I love that. Nancy saying, exactly. It's been a while and I've been feeling overwhelmed. Yes, yes. Emotionally, physically, financially. And I exploded. It does resonate. Well, thank you, Nancy. I'm not glad that's happening to you, but thank you. I don't feel like I'm the only one that's experiencing that. And I think it's a phenomenon. I think it's a thing. Well, clearly it is. ChatGPT says it is. Excuse me. And so it's something to be aware of. So when you're feeling like that, my suggestion is give yourself a little grace. And what I've had to do, unlike my nature is to continue to push through whatever. I've said, that project is going to be there tomorrow. And I just need my body to have a little time to catch up here and process this dump. And then eventually it will do that enough that I'll be back 100%. And I know that now. But so I have to slow down a little bit. Like yesterday, I had several things planned. I was going to have a painting day that did not happen. I got a few other things done. But so it's kind of learning how um, it's a new level of self care for me personally, and how to balance, seeking balance for our energy. And I think that's one of the shifts that as we ascend is so much more critical for us. We're becoming much more sensitive. All of us, everybody on the planet. Now, if you're already a sensitive person, it's even more accentuated is that you have to find balance with your energy body. You have to like wear gemstones, maybe a little self care to help you, balance your energies or not scroll past a certain time at night or, maybe not drink wine but one night a week. Or, I mean, I don't know what all the things that that we indulge ourselves in. um, So it's another layer and level of self-care is learning how to say no to those inner voices. Well, you said you were going to do this and this and this today. Okay, back to the reading, guys. So, as I said, kind of backing up what I was feeling here is when this comes in, when this handsome guy or girl, there's no gender in tarot, comes in offering his cup to you, you're gonna be like, I don't know, I'm kinda busy over here. I kinda thought my cup would just, I've dumped that out already and I'm on to some other things. And you might have a tendency to be a bit bitter. So I'm gonna caution against that, please. I'm gonna caution against that. And I know why, because you're on the other side of some kind of betrayal. Yeah, yeah. I see it. There it is. Okay, all right. You're on the other side of some betrayal. You let me say this, you've been touched in some way by betrayal. And so when this potential new partner comes in, it's going to be a harsh truth for you. And I'm saying that purposefully. The truth is, you really do want a new person. Don't tell me you don't. You do, or it wouldn't be showing up in your energy. It's already in your energy because it's showing up here in this tarot reading. Ooh, Nancy, well, thank you. I'm so glad that you're resonating with what I'm saying tonight. And Beer Run says, "All right, I'm in Texas. All right, everything's Never mind. I'm not going to say that. But you know what I was thinking, don't you? Uh huh. Well, might come back to that later. So there's a truth that you're faced with here when this person comes in, and I think we know the truth is. Too bad I didn't designate this a Scorpio reading, but this is the Scorpio card, but it doesn't matter. It's not relative. And I'm getting a little ahead of myself because I do have two other cards here. The truth of it here is you might not want to change. Maybe some of you, in fact, I was having a discussion with my best friend this weekend about I'm really comfortable being single. This is new for me. Well, I'm not new. I'm always comfortable in my own company, but the fact that I am now at the point in my life where I'm questioning if I even want to date ever again, I'm just like, I'm really enjoying my company, my friends, I'm just like, I don't feel like I'm lacking anything, like I need a partner or any of that. So I'm questioning, as using myself as an example, do I really want to change because somebody's coming in here and offering me something? So it's just a truth you're going to be asked to look at this week. Now, what came out that I skipped ahead and didn't mention was this, but this is just part of this message we've already talked about. So I think for many of you, you've come out of something toxic, whatever that looked like. Toxic can be addictions, it can be behaviors, it can be beliefs, it can be physical addictions, it can be emotional addictions, it could be codependence. And you've had some time to think about this. Many of you have put yourself in a little timeout you know, pulling back, saying, okay, all that happened and, all the stuff in the past. And I really want to ask spirit, maybe even because this is divine, the divine giving you inspiration here. He's seeking inspiration and understanding. And so I think many of you are in this very reflective stage where you're asking yourself, yeah, or maybe because the hermit is what this card is called, and the hermit pulls away. He takes himself into the cave to reflect, and he's alone in this cave while he's doing this reflection. So again, I think many of you are in this timeout kind of with yourself, but self-imposed, not because you've made a big deal about it or yes, beer run. Now I see why you want me to be PG. You have to remind yourself once in a while I do, right? I'm a person, I'm human, I have thoughts, but I do try to censor myself. um, and that speaks to the kind of audience I want to attract here and all that. So anyway, this message is just about you're going to be faced to look at this truth this week of where you stand on the potential of somebody coming to offer you love. Yeah, and these were all at the bottom of the deck, and yep, yep, yep. Continuing with that same message, somebody's coming in that may offer you a certain level of collaboration. You're questioning. I don't know if I really want to, make myself single again and available. Some of you, again, same cards are coming back out. I love that about tarot. Questioning yourself, feeling, I don't know if I really want to be in that place of, I'm going to use the word fertility. What I mean is being open to relationships. And many of you have lost your confidence too, I have to say. Yep, because you've been disappointed. And you saw me shuffling, all that shuffling, the same cards are coming back. It's just repeating now, same cards, because you may very well may be focused on your money, but also some of you, this could be saying you're too focused on what's happened in the past in a negative way. So don't get stuck there. Yep, don't get stuck there. On Natty Nat, hey, how are you? Good evening. Welcome. Glad you stopped in tonight. Well, all right. So that's what's coming in for the week, guys. That's a rousing start, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Well, what would tarot like to advise? I think I know, but what would tarot like to advise my collective? What would tarot like to advise my collective? Oh, listen, Mishi is the best moderator ever, 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 ever. She's the bomb, let me tell you, and a friend. And she was a moderator first, but she was such a stellar human being. I am proud to call her a friend. What would you like my collective to know in terms of maybe how to embrace this or how to move forward with this, spirit? Okay, one more. Okay, that means turn the deck over. That's right. She is HR. She's also my personal agent. She, I'm kidding, but not kidding. She, I started a joke in my pimp, but no, you we don't do that here. Oh, all right. Come on, spirit. There we go. Okay. Tara has a sense of humor. Spirit is saying, well, look, the least you can do is hear what they have to say. Okay. The least you can do is being open to hear what they have to say. Maybe a little conversation, just a little conversation. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean you have to it doesn't mean you have to be planning the wedding, right? Just don't get the cart before the horse here, but own the fact that you really truly are single. And here's the thing. This distinction, because this was in the reverse, and then I turned the deck over because it wasn't giving me cards, and that means turn the deck over. We don't want to show you that card in reverse. So now this person is coming forward as someone who is single, independent, perfectly fine to pursue or do the pursuing, and someone who can take care of herself. So it's okay. Okay, here's another message that's coming through. It's okay if you present yourself as this um, Nine of Pentacles, and it's really interesting because this is the minor arcana version of the Empress, which happens to be the very next card, both in the upright. Okay, so here's the thing. Don't be afraid to own your power. Don't be afraid to own your experience. And don't be afraid to own if you can take care of yourself. Don't play small for anybody. That's what this is telling me. Because in the first part of the reading, these cards were reversed. And now it's saying your advice is own who you are, honey. Be proud. Hold your chest out and your chin up. Be confident in yourself. Be proud of who you are. Because listen, we've lived a lot of life here to get where we are. I've earned every one of these gray hairs and every one of these wrinkles on my face, believe me. And here we go. Don't get stuck in disappointment. Open up just a little bit. I'm hearing just crack the door, leave it a little cracked, okay? Yeah. And you know what? You don't have to invest in anything you don't want to. Maybe you could just have a little fun. This doesn't have to be forever. Maybe you could just have a little fun, right? Wait, wait. Y'all are having a conversation over here. Now, do I see the pen? Oh, Natty Nat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, you do not, because Darlene forgot to put that in the tonight. I did not, and I love you for saying that. So let me do it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Totally blitzed on that. Totally blitzed. Let me put this in here. 1 second, guys. See, I just got so wrapped up in doing this little message, and okay. Forgot to post my link there. Okay, there we go. Thank you for the reminder to post my pinned comment. Um, okay. Aw, Miss, you're the best. Thank you for saying that. So anyway, you're I've got again the cards. It's so interesting with tarot how you shuffle all day long, but the cards that are supposed to come out are gonna come out. Remember, this was in the upright. So all this is saying to me is, I think this is saying it's an uncomfortable truth, but it is a truth, nevertheless, that you need to change how you're feeling about that. You need to change. It's time to get out of that. Open that door. I keep hearing crack that door. Get out, celebrate, go have drinks with your friends or something. Yeah, put this down. This is the end of this. Put this down. And look, and here it is, 10 of Pentacles. This could be something stable, or this could be saying you are stable. You have the capacity to give yourself all of this too. It isn't that you need someone for my collective, it's that you're leaving a crack, that you're willing to just have a conversation with somebody because you never know. Somebody might surprise you. They might come in with that Ace of Wands and might end up a King of Pentacles or an Emperor. You just never know. So I love that. And also, there's an underlying message here too with this is um, for me, particularly because both of these cards were in, well, all three here. Let me see if I can. Yeah. All right. All of this whole series, yeah, this whole series of cards to me, because it was previously like this and now they're all like this, is a message for me too, to remind you that you create your own reality, that you create your own reality through your thoughts. So if you're still thinking, oh, I don't really want to go out there, I'm just likely going to have the same experience I had before. So I'm not even going to talk to that person. I'm not going to leave that door cracked. I'm not going to even entertain that or anyone because XYZ, and I've had this experience and that experience. And Spirit saying, be careful, be careful. Is that really what you want, man? Are you saying that because, yeah, you've had that experience, but guess what? You keep saying it, you're going to have it again. So, Spirit is cautioning somebody out there to watch your thoughts, to own who you are, be confident. Don't play small this week. There are plenty of people who would be attracted to that. And I know I've struggled with that sometimes too. I'm a lot. I'm a double Scorpio with an Aries moon. I'm just out here and I'm intense. And I've been told that multiple times how intense I am. And yeah, a lot of people are intimidated by it, but the right person will be attracted to it. And I just heard the mic drop. So, okay, there you go. There's your message for the week from my collective in love. Awesome, guys. That was, and I think I needed to hear that, though I didn't realize that until I got about three-fourths through it. But I probably need to hear that. I think I'll play this back because I'm kind of in the energy of the reading, not really listening, but kind of listening. So I hope that helps somebody out there this week. And please let me know. Come back and put it in the comments that somebody stepped forward and made you an offer. Maybe somebody at the office asked you out for a drink and your inclination was to say, not interested. Keep that door open. Keep the door open, guys. All right. That's your weekly week ahead love reading. And what's going on? What kind of mischief have y'all up to over here in the chat? Let me see. Nancy says, can I ask why it is when I go to family parties or gatherings with a friend, I feel low on energy? Yes, this also happens at work when I'm around with not so nice people. It's very simple, Nancy. This happens to everybody, by the way. So this is not just about Nancy. Higher energy naturally drains, I'm going to use that word, to lower energy. It's not a choice mentally. It's not a process that I think I'll open my valve and let this go out. No, it happens it's because I don't know why. I can't say that. I have a theory, but it's one of the reasons that the more sensitive you become, and I think you are, Nancy, is I think we've talked about that before. Hey, Derry, good evening, sweetie. Welcome in. Thanks for coming tonight and saying hi. Um, but those people are on a different frequency. Okay, if we just look at it from a scientific perspective and we talk about frequency. Okay. They're down here and you're here. This is just your natural state. This is their natural state. So the pull is on this because they can't go here or they're not willing to go here. So the pull is to drain. This energy will naturally be pulled and drained by this lower vibrational energy. It's just the way energy works. Now, I recommend, however, you do a couple of things. You do just a very simple protection ritual that can be, excuse me, let me back up. You do a protection ritual that can be very elaborate, as elaborate as you want it to be. You can Google this. There's plenty of information out there about this. Or it can be something very simple, like just saying a little prayer like, please, God, surround me in a bubble of God's divine love and light, that I am protected from any and all negative, harmful, or detrimental energy. Please either return that energy to sender or dispose of it as is appropriate. That is the prayer I say before I get on video here with you guys, or I do a personal reading or anything like that. It's just a very simple prayer. And then in your mind, envision yourself literally in that golden bubble. I think that the more sensitive you are, the more you need to do that and become aware that that's the case. And then also, like I was saying earlier, these sweet bracelets do more than just act as jewelry. They they have all kinds of protection properties, and they're it's kind of like that. Each one has their own lane in terms of particular energies. But there's some that I wear, like this is Labradorite. And again, these are from Auto Spirit. The link is in the description box. Excuse me. This one is Labradorite. It's a good general protection stone. Again, I spoke about selenite, quartz crystal. Also, this one, and this is one of my sweet new ones. Hang on one second. Tourmaline. Black tourmaline is an excellent protection stone, and I didn't wear mine tonight, but I do have it. And then this sweet little darling is a rainbow tourmaline. And just pop it on. That really, now the trick here, and you notice I'm not particularly wearing this on that arm tonight, but I just forgot, to be honest. When you, this is true, well, it is, two things. If you're worried about things like that, I would recommend wearing it on your left wrist because the left side of your body is the receiving side of your body. That applies to money. For example, you'll notice that I wear my um, tiger eye and citrine, which attract abundance. I wear those on my left wrist. However, that being said, the right side of your body is giving. I finished my sentence. However, that being said, it doesn't mean that you know you're not affected just because that's happening there. It can be a drain on you no matter what. Also, there's these things called psychic cords, and if you've got a psychic cord attachment with someone, that can be a big drain on your energy too. But I have a hard time going into crowds anymore, Nancy. I really, really do. Even smaller, even going to the grocery store or Walmart, God forbid, or places where I know there's a lot of people. The energy there is different. That's one thing. Then the people there, it's a quite can be quite overwhelming. So that's my recommendation. Yep, and that's exactly what happens. Energy, Nancy's saying, my energy when I'm out the door is great, but when I'm around certain people, it goes low. That's because they are draining your energy. They don't know they're doing it. It's because higher energy flows to lower energy. So do some protection ritual, and I think it will help that. And also, like I said, get 1 or 2 or 12 of these bracelets. So, and like mine, I also have them blessed. You don't have to do that, but it's just an extra added umph. Derek, you're so sweet to ask. It is coming along. I did get a few things done. I finally the big dining room wall where I had this house was built in 1982, and there was a big giant mirror on that wall that had been here since the house had been built. So when I had it removed, it was literally bare sheetrock under there. Who knew, right? They didn't even paint the wall before they hung the mirror. So I had to paint the wall before my big landscape painting could go up there. I did get that accomplished this week, and then my son came over and hung that painting for me. That was a big thing on my list because then that room is kind of finished for me. So that felt really good. I did a little painting in one of the bathrooms. I wanted to paint the vanity, but I didn't get that done. But I did get finally, long story, but my half bath downstairs has been a real story. I finally got the vanity stained and all that, which was a journey, and got it ready, and then I had a hiccup, and then I couldn't get the top on because they had left me the quartz top, and I was going to install it myself. Well, the day that my son came to hang the painting, got him to do that for me because he's better at it than I am, and it was heavy. But then, waiting on the plumber to come to install the faucet. So it's just like this little bitty things are getting done, but the faucet is in. So now that bathroom is fully operational. And I am replacing the toilet in there. So that'll be a whole other thing. And then the walls have to be painted, but little things are happening, and I'm feeling better by the day. So thank you for answering that sweet, Derek. I'm asking Derek. Sorry. It's just me. I'm a one man show. Today I got my front door has side lights, those little narrow windows by the door, and there were curtains, just little gathered fabric curtains on either side that I have no idea how long they've been here, but they were ripped and rotten and whatever. So those had to go. So today I installed some. It's just called film, but they have it's like a privacy film, but it still lets light in instead of it just being blocked from the curtain. So I did that today. That was thankfully got that taken care of. So little things are ticking off the list. Let me see. What did Nancy say? It feels so bad just because I'm yawning. My eyes are closed. Oh no. Well, Nancy, you might take up meditation because that's a really, really great way to regenerate. And sometimes a 5 minute or 10-minute meditation is better than an hour nap. I mean, it really can regenerate you once you kind of learn how to do it and you're able to sink into it. Marcia, good evening. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Nancy's saying, I try to do my shopping at 6 a.m. Right, because no, not many people are in the store. I know exactly why you're doing that. Yep. As soon as they open, the earlier the better. Yep. Oh, you're welcome, Nancy. And I'm sorry you're going through that, but in a weird kind of way, it's also a compliment to say that your energy is higher than all those people, and you need to accept that and start doing things to protect it. Take responsibility and do the protection things, and all the things that we talked about. And also another thing you can do is like if you feel drained like that, a Epsom salt bath can help too. Burning incense can help, so burn incense and it's kind of, well, of course, the feather works lovely, but, you know, do this kind of so that you bring the incense smoke all around your body, and that helps to clean your aura as well. Or sage, that works too. Natty Natty says, oh, did you? Okay. Yes, I will let you know. I will check that 1 second. Because I get behind in the chat and I have to scroll back, and so 1 second, I'll check it. Gary's here. Hi, Gary. Good evening. Little by there you go. That's right. Little by little, it all gets done. I'm just a little bit, I'm not horribly OCD, but I do have a little OCD. So for me, it's like having unfinished items like that is what my therapist, I'm kidding. It's not really, I don't really have a therapist right now, but it's called an open loop in my brain. Can't let go of it. So it's so satisfying when I get to close a loop like that. Oh. Okie dokie, guys, let me 1 second check on this because I did not think to open that PayPal before I came on here. Let me see. Sorry, that it just went everywhere. Okay, yes, yes, yes. I got both of them. Thank you, ladies. All right. All right. Let me. So, Natty and Mish. Hey, Gary, you weren't here earlier when I was talking about, I was bragging on Mish, but you've been here a long time, like she has. So I just wanted to share again. She has started her own YouTube channel and she's also doing readings. So go over there and check her out and support her. She's fabulous, as we all know anyway. But her channel is at Grace Happens. Did I get that right? Post it again, would you, Mish? At Grace Happens, I think is, I should have written that down just so I'd got it right. Okay, Nanny, you want to go ahead and post your question now. There it is, at Grace Happens Daily. Well, is that the name of your channel or is that daily? Okay. Because I know you were posting shorts, but you have some long form stuff too. She's really good, y'all. Go over there and support her. Natty, is this your first reading on YouTube? I would love to know how my connection with B, okay, let me know if you want his full name, is unfolding, what to expect. Okay, let's take a look at B. No, you just think about him. That's enough. I'm asking what deck. All right, we'll do the Light Seer for Mr. B. Okay, I couldn't remember. Thank you. Thank you, Mish. And crazy things. Yes, I love that. All right, Natty wants to know how the connection. I'm saying this to my team and to anybody who might watch this later in the replay. Okay, I'm just giving myself a second to shift energy. So we're asking how Mr. B. Let's see, how do we want to word this? Okay, so Spirit, show me the container, the connection between Natty and Mr. B, please, and thank you. We don't like that one. I'm going to put the selenite on that right now. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay, I'll come back to that in a moment. But I have to say off the bat, that is the number one card of deception. So Has there been deception? Because that's now deception doesn't necessarily mean, cheating with a third party or something, but that is the number one card of that. So, um, I know, but hold up. Let's see what the other cards. Sometimes that can be deceiving yourself about something. So hold up. Let's see what else comes out. Don't jump to any conclusions yet. But we definitely don't want to see that card. But you can't take it out of context. So show me, because I did say, show me the container. That means um, your relationship is inside this container. There's two people in the container. It's like there's your version, there's your person's versions, and then there's somewhere in between. And all of that is what I'm calling the container of your relationship. So it's not a good card to get. That means somewhere in there, something's not showing as truth. Come on now. Give us more, please. Give us more. Don't keep us in suspense. And by the way, we don't have all night. I only take flyers, by the way, so that's why I'm making that face. Okay, that can make sense. We will see. Yes. Ooh, that's thunder. All right, turn it over. That wanted to come out. Another card of secrets. Things are hidden here. And fears. Now, fears, this could mean somebody is secretly afraid that they're going to get deceived or cheated on or something like that. That could be what that means. So let's keep going. Yeah. And disappointed again. And I said again because you can't have this if you haven't been disappointed. Yeah, there are feelings here, but let me keep going. Let me keep going. I know. Aren't you on the edge of your seat, Beer Run? Okay. Hold on. I don't know what this is saying yet. Hold on. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No, no. We do not wish this. Okay, I have to ask because this is giving me a story here. um, so Nettie, Terrell often gives me the backstory, and I've been getting better about that not happening just out of. Sorry, I just saw a super chat and I'm squinting because I can't read that fine print without my glasses. So I'll look at it a little bit. And Mish, could you address that for me? Because that's the wrong amount, sweetheart. If you want a reading, there we go. Got it. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. We got you. We got you. What? Let me just put this down. Anonymously known rave girl. Okay, I'm going to shorten that to rave girl. How about that? And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, let me get back over here to what I was saying. So, Taylor used to do that to me a lot when I was started in the lives. They would give me this elaborate backstory, and it was great because you knew that was your story, but it's very time consuming. So I've tried to work with my team to not do that as much. So I will allow that that could be this story. However, what I'm getting here is there what I have to say the truth. Deception of some kind. Either you're deceiving yourself because you're not wanting to see, or your person. But the question we have to always bear in mind the question that was asked: what is this container? What is going on within this situation here? And that card speaks of some kind of deception. You're not seeing it. There's fears, there's secrets here. Secrets about what? About whether or not someone is truly single or they're truly independent, possibly. And then we have this card, the Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands is commonly known as the player card. Um, it just means somebody who's typically in and out. They're not dependable. They're somebody that you'll have a good time with, but not necessarily be there next week. Okay. Now, this can mean it's exciting, it's new, it's somebody you kind of feel drawn to, if you get my drift. So my concern, however, is this: the combination of cards. It's not either card, each card, it's the combination of cards. And then I have this Three of Cups. Now, the Three of Cups in the upright talks about celebration, friendships, having a good time. When it's in reverse, that to me is the third party card. Third parties are meddling family members, somebody's being a workaholic, or could be an addiction, or maybe they don't know have good people skills and they spend all the time with their dog. But it can mean another romantic interest. Now, for me in my readings, when they come out sideways, this means it's in process. It's neither upright or in the reverse. That to me is a red flag of caution. Okay, good. Okay, good, good, good. Because I'm not trying to make this ugly. I mean, this could be just, yeah, you're dating, you're having fun. There's a lot of attraction here. Yay, you. And I don't mean to make this seem like a dirty word, because if you're both single and you're aware of it, then great. We're all out here being who we are and experimenting. I don't mean experimenting. I mean experiencing other people to see who's a good fit. That's just like dating. You date one person, you date three people, whatever. Everybody's trying everybody on, right? But the fact that it started with this card is a concern for me. So that's the red flag. Now, what we like very much is the sun card. This is in the upright. This talks about happiness. This talks about illumination. It's shining on all of this. We like that a lot. So I, I just, this why I kept hesitating. And I'm so glad you said what you did. Excuse me. Because it felt like this card came out in the reverse, but not really. And what I mean is, in the reverse, it's somebody who has basically done a thing, some kind of deception, and then they're feeling bad about it and they want to make right about it. But it didn't feel that way. So that explains that maybe you're not telling each other that you're dating other people. That doesn't mean if you're not committed to each other, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Just means you're not talking about it. That's what that looks like to me. And yes, it could be, as Beer Run says, a cautionary tale. I love it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Amen. There was an ex and a child involved. Aha, there is still an ex who has a new partner and is still trying to interfere. Well, that explains that all day long. Yep, there it is. And I was just about to say, because at the bottom of the deck, somebody here's working on it. Now, this could be working on the relationship, working on the job, or just I'm working on it. But it feels to me like I'm working on it, meaning because of what you just said, I'm I'm investing in getting perfecting this in some form or fashion. Remember, we're talking about the relationship because I know I have to lay down. There's something here that's a heavy burden that's got to be put down in this. If this is to go somewhere, somebody has to put this is the excuse me, light seer deck in the traditional Rider Waite. This is somebody holding 10 wands, and it's a heavy, heavy burden to carry those wands. Yeah, and this is due to somebody who made a bad choice in love. So this is starting to sound now like your person. They made a bad choice in love. Yep. And so I think this is saying they just want to they're taking this slow, very slow, because they still are having trouble moving on from this person, or that person may be having, as you pointed out, having a hard time moving on from your person, and there still is some kind of entanglement there. This is, I'm not able to move on to calmer waters yet. So that explains that. Okay, I like this, but they're willing to well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna stop there because I want to ask a quick other question because this is getting kind of long and I got other readings, but I wanted to one second, excuse me one second. Let me go back up here. Well, yeah. And there could be the other meaning, as I said to begin with that Seven of Swords. Are you deceiving yourself that, boy, I'm really starting to care about this person? It's, yeah, yeah, I want it to be light, but then is there deception in that? Maybe you're really caring more than you thought you might. And 1 minute, let me, whoops, wait, where is it? Okay. So here's what I'm going to pull a couple more cards and ask. But not with this deck. They're saying, okay, what the potential outcome here might be. Now, if you're new to my channel, I talk a lot here about law of attraction. So, whatever this says, it's not written in stone. There is no predicting the future, there is only potential. So, depending on how you manage your thoughts and your expectations, you can potentially change this outcome. That's why I use the word potential. So, let's see. What is the potential here of this specific relationship between Natty and Mr. B? Please and thank you. Maybe somebody who's not emotionally available. This can also be somebody who owes an apology and didn't give it or doesn't in the future give it. But this feels like somebody who is not genuinely emotionally available. And this either causes you or this could be them a lot of sleep and stress. And this is saying be, because of that, it's not able to move forward potentially. Remember, this is only one potential. And I think one of you, I'm suspecting this is you, decides at some point, I'm not conflicted about which direction to go. I was having a hard time deciding, but now I have clarity. I see what I need to do for my own happiness now because somebody here is not moving on. Remember the Six of Swords I said? I get the feeling, my intuition is saying it's your person is not fully moved on from the ex. Or their ex's energy is still attached to them and it's holding them back. Either way, it's still an entanglement. And so, therefore, this person is not emotionally available or overly, or this can also be overly emotional. And so, I think you may at some point communicate. Again, this could be either of you, kind of feel like this is you more. Communicating that, I've decided I'm just going to go out here and seek my own personal happiness, whatever that looks like for you. But I'm going to focus on me. That's what this means. And you may well put an end to it. Somebody here. Now, again, this is just potential. It's nothing is written in stone. It just says that's where this could be heading unless you want it to be different. And if you want it to be different, then tell a different story. Educate yourself about the law of attraction, watch Abraham Hicks videos, learn the verbiage, learn how to turn that freight train around and point it in the other direction. So um that's up to you. I think that's a decision. You could affirm, no, this person is completely over their ex. Their person is out of their energy, and this person sees only me. There's only me in his energy. There's only me in his thinking. There's only me in his heart. He's open to give his heart emotionally. He's completely enamored with me. You can tell a different story and change the outcome. So let me go back. I know you had a few comments I had missed here. It sounds like you're already very Vera and saying very. I agree. I agree, Vera. And it does sound like she's very mature. I completely agree. 2 out of 3. Hello, Dom. Good evening to you. Well, you're very welcome, Natty. That's yeah. I always love to give people happy readings, but that's not the priority. The priority is giving the truth here. Sometimes it's not always comfortable, of course. Matthew's asking, wait a minute, anonymous. Yes, can I ask if she's still reading a different person? I was, yes, Rave Girl. I was just finishing up Natty's reading. Now I'm going to do Mish, and then you're next. Um, Now you say, I think I'm okay focusing on for myself for sure. You are very, very welcome, sweetheart. Thank you for buying a reading tonight. And I'm glad I could support you in that. Whatever you choose, that's your choice, of course. However you see that going for you. Too much drama, I think. Too many connections with the child and all, and it's too much something I need to give peace. Well, there it is. There's the bottom line, isn't it? Sometimes that's that 9 of cups. What personal happiness might just be living without drama and giving yourself peace. Yes. Excuse me. Okay, Mish, thank you. That's very generous of you. Now, somebody had a general question here that I was going to address real quickly. 1 second. Matthew asked, do you ever do readings for yourself about current events? Matthew, I do not pull on current events. Not my just not my interest personally. Um, I do. Oh, I see your question. You're asking me, do I ever pull on things in my life that are current? Yes, but I always say I take it with a grain of salt. I only assume it's maybe 50% accurate because there is reader's bias and you cannot not have it. You cannot not have it. It's just You know what your situation is, and there is the ability to read a card many different ways, and you're going to slant it without intending to your circumstances. And so I'll pull cards, but I only give it, a mild weight, if that makes sense. I'd rather have somebody else pull cards for me. I hope that answered that question. Lucas is asking, what do you know about bioenergy and the ability to push or feel others' movements and feelings? I have this ability and I'm trying to grow it. That's awesome, Lucas. I've never heard it called bioenergy. To me, it's just energy. And, it is, you might want to rewind. I don't know how long you've been here, but I was talking with Nancy. She was earlier in this live. So I would go and rewind maybe and talk about where we talked about that. She was saying she has trouble being around large crowds and people and, in general. And so we talked a little bit about that. Everybody has a multi-layered field around their physical body. And one of those layers is called an energy body. And you cannot go through this world and not have it affected. Your own emotions and feelings affected, and also from the inside out, and then also from the outside in affects your energy field. So I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're asking about, but it is definitely a thing. And human beings on this planet are ascending and becoming much more sensitive. The veil between the physical world and the non physical world is thinning. So people are becoming more sensitive to all of that. Great question. Let me see now. Am I caught up? Hello, Tay. Mace, good evening. How are you tonight? Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate that. Lucas is saying, I don't know what to call it. Like if I blow my own hand, if I blow on my own hand, you can feel it. I have trouble with large crowds leaking into me. Well, I know that says you're sensitive. You're an HSP, highly sensitive person. They made a movie about it. Starring, well, it wasn't starring, but it was with Alanis Morissette. Um, it just, let me read that comment again. Now, the thing that you're saying here is that's a whole other subject that we could talk about. And I do have somebody waiting, two people waiting for readings. So maybe we can talk more about that. If you're still here at the end of the live, we can talk a little bit about that. I would be careful with that, though. I was trained by a Taoist master, and so I know a little bit about energy. And so I'm not just speaking to you as some tarot card reader. Okay, I want you to know that I've been studying with him for over 35 years. Um, yep, HSP. Well, yes, of course, it takes a lot of focus to move objects. Yes, but what you said about blowing on your hand, if you blow on your hand, and then I can feel it, it's just moving, another way of moving energy. I can look at you with my eyes and send energy through my eyes. I can point my finger, it's called kimchi in Chinese, and I send you energy. I can send energy lots of ways. It's just one way that you send energy. Now, I must caution you to be very careful about that, because you may be unintentionally affecting other people, and there is a karmic side to that if you do that. So don't just be playing with it from a point of curiosity. Be very responsible with that. And know that if you're doing that, I hope that you're having the very best and highest intentions, because you are affecting whoever's receiving that on the other end. It's not something to take lightly and play with out of just a point of curiosity. So I had to say that because I don't know who all else is going to watch this later. Yes, Matthew, precisely. is saying, isn't there always an equal and opposite reaction? Yes, there is. Absolutely 100%. Yes. And it works better if you're balanced. Well, just what we were speaking about, you're giving that energy at whatever frequency you happen to be at the time you give it. So if you're having a bad day and you're grumpy and you're blowing on your hand, not realizing what you're doing, you're giving that energy to somebody else. So don't be mindful. All I'm saying. Now let me get on to Rave Girl's reading. Thank you for your patience, Rave Girl. And would you post your question, please, pretty please, in the comments, in the chat? Mm. All right, all right, all right. Oh, good, you're here. Thank you for again for waiting and still hanging out with us. Okay, so she's typing. I can feel it. Here we go. I'm going through a transition, and I have a plan for my life change in money and goals and self help and wellness. Awesome. Am I safe? And do I have the ability to do it? And is it the right track? Well, that's like 4 different questions, sweetheart. So I'm going to have to narrow that down a little bit because these are one question readings. Let me see how I can word this. All right. First of all, let's get you a yes and no from that first question. And I'm asking what to deck. Well, I guess we're going to just use them all tonight. All right. All right. Let's get you out. 1 second. Make a little room here. All right. So, first question is a yes and no. I know, honey. I get it's okay. Expressing all that helps me. I just have to then distill it down into a question for tarot and my team. Um, Basically, what I'm kind of hearing there is 2 big questions. Am I on the right path and am I safe? Those are really kind of the 2 biggest questions I'm seeing. First of all, is this the right path that so you're thinking of it, you know what it is. So because it's not something that is because she knows there is this would be something like maybe she's pursuing being a reader or being something that's going to open herself up to negative people, like maybe it's Wiccan, maybe it's something else. But I'm just saying there are professions and career paths that, like even being here on YouTube, you would be surprised at the stuff we deal with. She's saying, okay, yes, it is expression and it's more than I know. It's my right. It's more that I know it's my right. Okay, so let's call this your calling. Let's name it your calling. That's what I'm hearing and feeling. You feel like this is your calling. Am I correct in that before I even start here? But I don't want to keep the old habits and ruts. Well, that's a choice, isn't it? And it's not always an easy one. I know, Mishy Bear, it is. It's a little bit of a layered conundrum for the reader sometimes because I want to give you answers to all of those, but sometimes, time and energy and I got to keep it fair too. Well, I'm feeling just intuitively because, I'm an intuitive reader. I was a reader for 30 years before I picked up a tarot deck. So let me say this. I'm feeling a couple of let's talk a little bit before I pull cards. Mhm. Okay. Um, to me, this feels more like intuitively, you're questioning not the fact that you're feeling called. I think that you feel confident that you're being called. What I'm feeling underneath that is you don't feel 100% confident that you're where you need to be, that I have the skills, that I really can do this. That's the lack of confidence I'm feeling here. It's not about what the universe wants for you. It's about your level of confidence doing this hasn't caught up with the dream. Now, I'm going to let you sit with that for a second and comment on that before I pull any cards. Yep, she's saying I want to create a business that's similar for coaching and having one-on-one clients. Yeah, something like what I do, this or something like this. Doesn't have to be tarot, but coaching. Yeah. Hmm. Nibiru's saying, oh, this is interesting. So maybe we feel safe when it's a passion, but not so safe when it would be a calling that we aren't comfortable with. That's not the discomfort I'm feeling. The discomfort I'm feeling is that she doesn't feel she's there yet. It's like a little bit of imposter syndrome and also pursuing my degree. Okay, she's saying it makes sense, and I don't want to be humiliated while I'm not confident. Exactly. Of course not. Of course. And that's exactly what I was feeling. It just feels, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Sometimes, and this is, I'm not, it's not fake it till you make it. I want to be clear. I mean, I know sometimes we do that. We all do that. But this is more about, okay, I'm just going to stop for a second because we have to talk a little bit more here. Give me just a minute. I'm tuning in here for you. I almost said this was you, but I feel like this is someone in your family. You, as a child or a younger woman, saw somebody in your family go through something like this and they were humiliated. Can you give me a yes or no to that? Or they were made to feel like they were a failure or they didn't succeed and you kind of are pulling yourself back because you don't want that to repeat. Well, I'm asking you that. I don't know who it was. I don't know. I'm asking if you know someone in your past, could have been a family member, could have been, a grandparent, could have been a friend. Repeat, please. Y'all don't realize I can't always do that because I'm channeling. um, that means y'all need to pay attention. You witnessed someone in your past or observed someone in your past. I feel like this was a family relationship that ventured out in a similar fashion to follow their dream, but wasn't really ready, kind of got a little bit of the cart before the horse, and you saw them fail. Well, my point is that I feel that's kind of stuck in the back of your mind, and that's causing a little more fear than is necessary because you're looking at somebody else's experience, and I think you might be comparing yourself. And so, out of the gate, that's putting a little bit of a a halter on what you're doing. So let me focus back in on this, the energy that we were asking here. Well, I have to finish saying this because here's the thing. And I don't know if you heard me talking earlier, but the same thing applies to anything you're wanting, no matter who's watching out there. It doesn't matter if it's a person, if it's a career, if it's a life path, if it's a calling, if it's a health outcome, if it's money, if it's a car, if it's a house. Doesn't matter what you want. The answer is always the same because I believe in the law of manifestation. And if you believe it and you practice the law of manifestations, you can bring it into your life, into the 3D. And so, this lack of confidence, it's not about you having the ability. I feel like you're very capable. It's about you believing that you're capable. That's the linchpin. Now, that was a real important statement that I just said. I could feel the energy really charged with that when I said it. I'm not understanding that last comment. Well, I can't last forever because it's an unnecessary thing to carry and hindering. Well, that's right. So, Spirit is saying, why do you think they're having me talk about this? It's something you just have to decide one day, okay, that's never going to leave me. I'm going to remember that forever. It's a part of who I am. It was a part of my human experience. But I can make the choice right here, right now, to not let it affect my choices and my decisions going forward. That's both of those can be true. So, and I'm going to shuffle now and see. So, we want to know essentially if this, see, I've said too much now. I've got to clear my mind 1 second here. Let me. Is this calling for your highest good and the path that you should be walking on for your highest good currently? That's how I'm going to ask the question. All right. 3 shuffles now. Starting over. 3 shuffles. How would you like it? Well, okay. Well, this is saying no, not ultimately. But hear that. Not ultimately. But it doesn't mean it's not a stepping stone. Now, 1 second. I think this is more about something. There's something here about communication. So I don't know if this means, hang on a minute, let me, And again, I want to refer you back to my earlier comments about nothing is written in stone. You can change this outcome. I have to refer to the comments I've already given you because the Page of Swords in reverse is what's affecting this. This is communication. Now, either that's outward communication, messages, or it's internal guidance messages, either from spirit, depending on what kind of work you're doing, like I'm doing, for example, thunder, confirmation, or it's your own thinking, like we were just discussing. But there's a disconnect here because it's in reverse. There's a disconnect, or, and how that feels right, disconnect. Hang on, let me see what's over here. Yeah, okay. I'm getting a real important message for you regarding working with people. Okay, so I'm speaking from experience here. I feel like part of this for you has to do with how you communicate with your clients. There's some nuance here that spirit is, it's a skill, it's a language, it's something you haven't yet acquired, um, that is needed for you to make this happen the way you want it to. Part of your roadblock is also not letting other people influence your messages. This is part of that lack of confidence also, but it feels to me like this is overindulgence. And if you were here and listening to the other reading, overindulgence can be anything from, you might have to quit drinking if you're going to be doing, like for me, for example, I've had to really cut back. I don't drink that much, but I like a glass of wine on Friday or Saturday night on the weekends or whatever. Well, I can't do that on the days before I go to the gym, and I certainly can't do that when I'm going to be doing lives or anything, any kind of readings, because it messes with your intuition. It lowers your frequency. All right, and I don't want to be here telling people how to go about their lives unless my frequency is high enough. So there's something here, something that a skill that you need, or some kind of something that has to do with communication. Um, as I've said, I'm just repeating myself, that is needed for you to incorporate into this work. And then the second part of this is not being influenced by other people. In other words, two things on that subject. I remember I used to feel when I was doing private session, I had a private practice. This is way before I picked up tarot, where I would do just what you're talking about, coaching sessions, intuitive sessions, energy work sessions, all that. And sometimes people would come and they would pay me, and I, at the end of the session, didn't really feel like I had given them anything. Like they paid me, and then I don't feel like I did anything. And so this could be what is happening with you, and that we're referring back to that confidence issue. So, what I had to learn and incorporate into my work was that person is in front of you. Spirit has put them in front of you because you have something to give them that is of value. You need to believe that, because sometimes the best thing you can do is to simply sit, if you didn't utter a word, and hear them. People need to be heard. People need the process of telling their story. They're not necessarily looking for you to fix everything. They just want to be heard. And so that was an important lesson for me, and to not feel like I wasn't giving enough. Okay. And so that's part of, this interference here, this overindulgence can be overindulging your own concerns and fears about not giving enough. It can also be overindulgence of other people being critical of what you do. You need to be 100% who you are and 100% there for that person, of course. And maybe your methods are different. Maybe you don't do things the way everybody else does. And maybe you're questioning a little bit of that. And that is a way that you let other people interfere. If you're listening to those voices about, for example, using myself as an example, you're too old to be out here on YouTube with all those wrinkles and that gray hair. You're too old to be out here, social media. So I mean, just how the mind wants to sabotage us. And I guess I should look at your comment. I've been really in that energy. Let me catch up with you here. You never deserve to be put down for lack of confidence. Absolutely not. Nobody deserves that. I'm not a huge drinker. I smoke, but it does. I don't. I feel like it's not safe for me to enter the world while I feel this way. And I would have to agree with that. It doesn't mean never, Rave Girl. It means maybe just not now until you get a handle on, get a little bit more confident in these things. Because I want to tell you something else I learned from many years of experience. If you are not confident and you are not, if you don't have a little bit of a thick skin, and I don't mean insensitive, that I don't mean a thick skin in that you're insensitive. I mean a thick skin that no matter what other people say or think about what you're doing, it doesn't bother you. Then you shouldn't be doing this kind of work. It can really play on you. I'll put it that way. Right. And so you live alone and you don't really have anybody to be a good sounding board and to encourage you, maybe except yourself. So you're left alone with the voices in your head. And we know how destructive that can be sometimes. We all have those voices in our head. But what I'm saying to you is, you're going to be shown when you're working with people, whether you're a licensed psychologist or you're a tarot reader, when you are working with people, it is the fastest way for you to be shown your own wounds and where you need to heal. And this is true for teachers too, but especially spiritual teachers. Like, um, the quickest way to learn is to teach. And so I'm feeling that what might happen is you might get, your wound would come up. It would be triggered because I talk a lot about this too here on my channel, in that everyone in the world is a mirror to show you where you need to heal. So that's the first thing that's going to happen, is one of your clients or somebody related in that would trigger your wound. And that's why I'm coming back to this. Don't let other people, um, what they say, bother you. Well, good. I'm glad you're moving. I think that's going to be good for you. hmm Um, and I hope this is helping, and I hope this is making sense for you. It's just I feel like that. I felt like, and then you confirmed it for me, that whatever you're doing is involving other people and some kind of a healing profession. And I'm not saying don't ever do it, but Spirit is saying you can't. There's some things you can't see yet, and this is about communication and messages that, you know might hinder you. And I feel like that's twofold. That's your own lack of confidence, number one, and then how you might be influenced by what other people might say and the feedback you might get. That's so you have to really um, work on your confidence more, Rave Girl, um, and that comes from changing your thoughts. We think over 60,000 thoughts a day, and every one of those is creating something in your exterior world. So you've got to get, yes, we call that monkey mind in my practice. You've got to get a hold of that monkey and put it in a cage, and you've got to start saying nice things to yourself, and you got to start believing, in yourself, and you've got to start weeding out these other people. Do I need support in doing so? I feel like this is something you can do on your what we're talking about here does not involve other people. Unless you want it, unless you feel you might be one of those people who we all let me back up. We all process information differently. Okay. For me, I'm a narrative kind of person. By that I mean narration therapy. I tell a story and that's cathartic for me. I can be a storyteller and I tell stories and I start with maybe a character, but by the end of the story, there's three characters. There's an understory, a twist, a protagonist, all but by the end of the story, I have worked out my own inner issue that I had. It's a complicated. Anyway, we all have different ways of emoting and getting to what our wounds and issues are. Now, if you're not one who knows how to do shadow work, that's what that's called, and you're not maybe comfortable or you just haven't gotten into any information about that, then yeah, you would probably benefit from a therapist, a counselor, someone who can help you define and isolate what that is. But if you're not and you can just get out here and start following some good people, I tell you who I really love, who's a really great, he's world-renowned psychologist, and he talks about things like wounds that we had in our childhood and how that affects us as adults, is a psychologist. His name is Gabor Mate, Gabor Mate. I think it has a hyphen over it. He has videos here on YouTube, books that many books he's written. Um, so when you ask about support, this is an internal process that you can do. However, depending on if you are someone who is capable and or willing to do the shadow work, then that would determine if you need to go see a therapist or something or a counselor. It's really just about seeing where you're triggered. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying we make it too complicated. If if someone triggers us by saying something like, for example, "Oh, Tina Garcia, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you." Um, if someone, for example, I'm trying to think of a good example to give. If someone says to me, "I don't think you should be on YouTube wearing, I don't know, a turquoise necklace." I'm making stuff up now, or a white shirt, or "I don't think you should be on YouTube because you've got gray hair and wrinkles. What are you thinking, young lady, being out here on YouTube?" Now, if I am insecure and I don't feel confident and I don't feel capable in my abilities, then that's going to trigger me. That's going to make me feel wounded. That's going to, make me feel emotional. I'm going to feel, that lack of confidence is going to get triggered. I'm going to start questioning myself. I'm going to start, God, they're probably right. I'm too old. Like, what was I thinking? How embarrassing. All the things. Excuse me. If, however, you are aware that that's what's happening, then you can say to yourself, this is how, guys, I'm just speaking to everybody here. This is how you work with a wound or your shadow side. I can say to myself, oh, I see what's happening there. That's my inner wounded child, or that's my inner belief about I'm not good enough, or I don't measure up, or it's not safe to be seen and heard. So then you just say, okay, I see with that. I recognize that. Then you have to do the opposite. Then you have to say, they start with affirmations. Of course um, I'm a good presence here on YouTube. I contribute a lot. I'll attract the perfect people who can benefit from my messages. I won't attract everybody. I don't want to attract everybody. I want to attract the people that I can help. So I am confident that I am in the right place, doing the right thing. I'm contributing value here on YouTube. I am seen and heard and valued. I am valued. And as for everybody else who doesn't see that in me, that's fine. They can go over there and have their own world, but they're not going to influence how I feel about myself. That's how you do shadow work. All right, one second here. Let me catch up on your comments. That's right, Beer Run. Absolutely, we should be supported. Well, you shouldn't. There's a couple things about your comment here. You're saying when I'm around a certain class of people, you don't feel supported. I think is what you're saying. Well, then you need to start affirming the opposite of that. Everybody accepts me. I'm loved and adored by everybody. I am, in fact, cherished by people of all kinds of people. It doesn't matter who I'm around, they all see my value. I am cherished by everybody. And what will happen is if you are declaring that to the universe and you do it with, fervor and consistently, that you either will find that you will not be around those people. They will leave your life. You will leave their life. Those are vibrations that do not match. If you're claiming and declaring that I am all these positive things, and these people are trying to tell you you're not, these two can't exist. They cannot coexist in the same space. So you're either going to be pulled down by them, which is what you're saying you're letting yourself do. You're letting that happen. It's a choice, sweetheart. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. As much as you'd like to blame this on everybody doing things to you, you are not a victim. It is a choice. You wouldn't believe the things that people have said to me out here on YouTube. And it is a choice what I do with each and every one of those unkind comments. It is a choice within me. You have to choose to not let that push you off your pedestal. It's very simple. Not easy, but very simple. So you either have to choose to get your mind in sync with what you want, telling the story like you want it to be, and or you need to choose a different set of people to be around. Don't be around people that you already know are going to pull you down. That's an easy choice for me. I don't have no tolerance for that anymore. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Mish. That's a very kind comment. You're such a good supporter. Well, again, this is not about, I mean, it is that your experience has been that old people are that way. It's not about old people. It's about a certain type of energy. Um, and so you just need to change that's one of your beliefs. And you're going to keep experiencing that if you don't change your belief about it. Of course, they don't want you to make the same mistakes they made. That's a parent all day long. And right. And that's coming from a place of well-meaning. They don't want you to hurt like they did either. They didn't say that part, did they? That's what making those mistakes did. That hurt them a lot, and they don't want you to hurt. That's a caring thing. Of course, they want you to have the best life. Absolutely. That's right, Miss. You just said it. You will notice low vibrational people will be removed. They'll go. They don't want to be around you, and you don't want to be around them. So you're saying, yes, I know it's a choice, and I have a lot about self concept, and I'm trying not to compete about knowing it. Not sure I understand that last, but well, and please, please, please understand my message to you tonight was not in any form intended to be any kind of a judgment or nothing like that. It's spirit telling through giving you what you need through me. And I hope that you will take it that way. It's meant to encourage you. It's meant in fact to empower you because you have the ability to shift this. That's the beautiful thing. You're not a victim. You're not locked into anything. You're not locked into, oh, people thinking you're whatever. No, 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 no. Quite the contrary. Um, and to tell you a little story about myself, for years, I felt I had to be a little bit quiet about what I did, the more mystical, you know, metaphysical things I did and talk a lot about because my sons in particular were not particularly accepting of this, and I didn't want to alienate them, of course. Well, there came a point when I just said, no, I'm tired of pretending not to be me and fully me. And so I just, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And the more that, I mean, literally, the more that I stepped out, the more that their response changed. I am not making that up. And now you guys see, like last week, my older son was on the live here, telling his friends about, hey, come on, look, my mom's live. Come on here. So the world responds to what you are putting out. You are a magnet. Think about your words as a magnet. What are you putting out there? Because that's what you're going to get back, whether they're words you're speaking or whether they're words you're thinking. So start thinking positively about those people and yourself, especially. You're saying, so yeah, I know it's a choice and a yes, because if they try to put me down for different ways of life, they want a competition, but in reality, they don't compare. Well, no, they wouldn't. Nobody can step in your shoes, and you can't step in the shoes that they experienced either. It's a boomerang, Nancy. That's absolutely correct. Yep, totally a boomerang, 100%. Well, I understand, Rave Girl, that is your experience, but I don't think you're really absorbing what I'm saying to you. And I'm saying, okay, nobody's disagreeing. Sorry, Apple. Thank you for telling me my watch is charged. I was distracted by that message. Arinson, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on, and I'm afraid I'm going to mispronounce your name. But welcome in. Thank you for being here. Um, so what I'm encouraging you to do is understand that you are not a victim. Doesn't matter what those people have said or done, the past is the past. The words that I just spoke out of my mouth is history. Can't change that, but you can change your future. So stop focusing on that. Stop focusing on what people have said, what you're afraid they're going to say or do. That means nothing. What means something is what you believe about yourself. That's the mirror that's going to be reflected back to you. And if anything else is reflected, that means you got to dig deeper. You've got to go in there, and you're not to the bottom of where your wound is. That's all that means. If you're saying that's true, if people sense a battle within yourself, they will react differently than if you are clearly secure. Absolutely. Authentic and peacefully Amen. Well said. Well said, Beer Room. There you go. I like that too, Brie Cash. God got me and he's at the wheel. I'm in peace. Well, amen. That's right. Let everybody else do them. Yeah, do them. You do you. Absolutely 100%. I agree with that. Well, I hope that helps, Rave Girl, because I think I didn't feel that Spirit was saying not ever. It was just saying it would not be in your best interest right now. So, what that means is until you've done a little work on this wound, that it would not be a pleasant experience for you, and or maybe you wouldn't be successful, and they might cause you to quit too early. So I'm not saying it. I don't see that message as a don't ever do this. I see it more as do a little more internal work, get your confidence up, and you will know, you'll feel the shift within yourself. This is not anything that's going to be given to you. It's given to you by yourself. And you'll also know because people will start treating you differently. They'll start reacting differently to you. The outside world starts to mirror that. All these old farts will start seeing you different and they'll start engaging with you differently, or they just will go away, one or the other. So, um, absolutely, Noah, I certainly do. Oh no, of course you didn't say that, Brave Girl. You know, of course you don't want to be a victim. Nobody would consciously want to do that. Of course not. Well, I hope that helps, and I'm wishing you much luck. Again, I don't really feel like this was a no so much as it was a not now. It would be, um, is how I read that. So I hope that helps, sweetie. I thank you for being here. I appreciate you very much for purchasing a reading, and I hope you'll come back. Thank you. There you go. I love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Spirit just said, let me give you one more card. Do what she said, meaning Darlene, do what I said, and you will find your footing to be solid. You will find the money, you'll find the career, you'll find the happiness, you'll find the stability. And that really is what we're talking about here, stability. You want to be stable when you're putting yourself out there with people. Yes, I have really been a victim of my life, like a real, and not a delusional. Yeah. Well, that's probably contributing to your lack of confidence. I think I have been too, and I know that that is. So that's something, again, that's more shadow work. It takes a lot to overcome that. So I'm just good on you for hanging in here. And probably, whether you're aware of it or not, that's probably what's driving you to want to help other people. No, I didn't think that you were fawning at all. No, no, no. I know that's a nice note to end on, isn't it? Ten of Pentacles. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Um, let me see. Oh, that's beautiful, Brave Girl. That's really beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I genuinely want you to be successful. We need more people who want to help and coach people. 100%. We need more people like you. But we need, and there's a saying, well, it doesn't matter. But we need healed healers. And you will never be 100% because that's the journey of life. Like I have stuff. Are you kidding me? I have stuff. I can talk big out here all day. I still have stuff. But the difference is I've been on this journey long enough that now when I'm triggered, I see it in the moment. And I say, oh, yeah, that's my inner wound. about XYZ being triggered. And so I can catch it. And that's really the skill of this is learning to catch what's going on in the moment so you can not give it any momentum. Oh, my nose is itching. So I'm very, very glad you're going to hire a therapist. I think that's fabulous. Nancy's saying life isn't easy. There's ups and downs. Amen. There is. And lows. But if you persevere and keep jumping back to positive and yes, and at least, yes, good thoughts through, not, excuse me, good moments, you will experience more ups than lows. 100%, Nancy. Amen. And that's beautiful. Yes, Rave Girl, baby steps. And you're going to know again when you start to turn this around and your good thoughts start to, by good people showing up, supporting you, they will, it'll just change how people react to you in the world. It's really quite miraculous. So I'm going to wish you so much luck. Well, I do. I wish you so much luck with that. That's, yeah, we need more people helping people. So keep doing what you're doing, and good luck. I want you to find a really good therapist. I'm feeling good about that for you. Um, all right. I guess we're moving on to Michelle. Aren't you next? If I'm correct. 'Cause I did Natty and I did Rave Girl. I think Michelle is next. Get a sip of water. Hey, Ruth, welcome in. Happy Sunday evening to you. How are you tonight? Michelle, why don't you go ahead and post your question? Well, I think let's reframe that for you. Um, Rave Girl is saying people want my help so much, but it's disrespectful because I'm not offering. I'm not sure if you mean you're being disrespectful to them by saying no, or they're just being disrespectful to you. No, I don't agree. If it's the latter, you think it's being disrespectful to you, I disagree. I would respectfully say they're responding to your energy, which is nothing that you're saying necessarily. They can sense that you have that energy, that intention, that caring within you. And people respond to that. So the fact that they're wanting you to help should be a compliment. I think that's wonderful. But yeah, that's not good. If you're in a hotel room and afraid to open the door, no, honey, you definitely you've got, yeah, and understand about if you've been a victim, why you feel that way. So I'm happy you're going to get some help with that. Tina Garcia, I have Mish and no one after that. But if you want one, I'm going to ask you to book it, and you would be the last one. Otherwise, I'm going to stop with Michelle. Excuse me. Well, and that's something that we all have to work on, isn't it? Boundaries really are a great reflection to show us where we're healed and where we need to do more work, aren't they? Yes. Well, excuse me. I'm thinking positively for you, Rave Girl. I truly am. And I've suffered a lot of trauma of all kinds in my life. Probably things that would curl your toenails. So, and look at me. I'm 100% healed. That was a joke. Of course, nobody is 100% healed. When I get to that point, I'll be out of here. I'll be on to the other side. But I certainly have come a long way, and I'm saying that not to brag about myself. I'm saying that to say that you can too. No matter what you've been through, you can too. Okay, let me check on that. Let me see. PayPal. Let's see here. Let me refresh this. There you are. I see it. Okay, Tina. Let me put you down. All right. Yeah. So readings will be closed now for the night after Tina. Tina. What's happening at 7:30? Are you in a different time zone? Is it 7:30 where you are? Well, and I'm going to have to start doing her reading here, but I love this conversation, Rave Girl. She's saying, "I've heard no one can be 100% healed." Um, I have to think about that because I think maybe Jesus was, because he certainly was a good example for us and what that looked like or could look like. He was here to show us our potential, right? Now, I um, I also kind of believe like or believe that when we come into this world, we have a certain plate of goodies that we need to work on, challenges. And kind of they're like contracts. And when we accomplish those, then we can leave and then move on and have a little break and then come back and work on a different set. So maybe we heal those particular ones and then come back and heal some different ones. So that's kind of a relative comment. I think Jesus was here to show us our potential, what we as human beings, the potential that we have in front of us, what we can heal, we can do things too. Okay, I'm going to have to focus now on Tina's reading. Tina, are you saying you want me to go to PayPal to look at your question? Yeah, I see that you paid. So I'm just waiting for Mish. Mish was next, so I was waiting for her question. So Michelle, if you will post your question, I'll do you, and then Tina will be last. It's thundering and raining out there. So Michelle, are you here? She has 4 boys. She might be a little distracted. Bless her heart. Sometimes she has to close the door and oh, did you? Okay, thank you, sweetie. Let me scroll back then. I missed it. Oh, okay, good. Well, all right. I guess we're this is interesting. It's funny you bring in your team and my team. It's kind of like they're already prepping us for a collab, don't you think? Okay, we're going to check in on the old SP. Absolutely, we can do that. All right. Let's see what deck. That's unusual. I didn't expect that one, but maybe it's because oh, you've been working with this one. Maybe that's why. You know this one. Oh, oh, Michelle, you're funny. She ran them off, meaning her spirit. We're talking about her spirit guides, her spirit team. Oh, I ran them off during this live. It was bad. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, Tina, because I need your energy here, and it's just what I do here. Now, if you paid on PayPal, I can give you a refund if you don't want to stay. but you need to be here in the live because I will ask you questions. Sometimes tarot gives me the backstory, but I don't know if it's a backstory. I'll need to ask you that, or if it's a future, things like that. So I need you to be here. And just let me know though if you can't stay. I get it. We're all busy, and I will refund your money. That's the advantage of paying through PayPal too, because I can't do that on super chats. You want to spy? Yeah, I've been tempted to lately, but I have a friend who reads tarot, and boy, did she spy on me this in her reading. That was funny. I'm just sitting there thinking, "Are you kidding? That's so awesome." It's been loud and clear. Yeah, I think it has been. These last few readings for you have been off the charts too. All right. One second. I'm just 1 second here. There we go. Now, how do we want to word this? Do you want to just ask, what is he dealing with? Do you want to know how is he feeling? What are you thinking? Oh, I don't know what's going on with my bracelet here. 1 second, y'all. I want that one on. I want that one on. Okay. All right. So, what's going on with Michelle's SP? Who shall forever remain nameless. Please and thank you. What's going on with Michelle's SP? And thank you, everybody who's here and who's hit that like button. That helps to support the algorithm and me here on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll just see what comes out. We'll just see what comes out. And I always forget to mention, I also do personal readings, and that information is in the description. So, all right. Well, I think he's busy working on his bag, as they say, stability, but we'll see what else comes out with that. That's a different question. So does he think of me or have any feelings or what is going on with that? Different questions. Those two different questions. Which would you rather have? Because I need to stop right now because my deck was answering one question. If you want the thinking and feelings, then I need to switch it up. Hang on. Let me do this because I'm feeling drawn to this other deck over here. I'm going to get three cards. Well, more than that came out, but let me see here. And those all came out sideways. All right, so this is what's you would say that. Can you see it? I forget to put it on camera. Yes, stability. Here, let me see. Well, I can't pull. I'm going to pull some more in a minute. You can't really see them. Hang on. Oh, lordy, lordy, about lost y'all. Don't go anywhere. It popped out of my clip there. Ooh, y'all okay? Is everybody sufficiently drunk now from that little ride? Sorry, guys. All right. I was trying to tilt the camera down and made a mess of it. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles came out first. What's going on? I think he's focusing on his stability. Now, this is interesting because he might be dealing with somebody from his past or family. This could be family. This could absolutely be family. But what's interesting is I've got an Ace of Cups here. Okay. That could mean any number of things. It could be, and frankly, the feeling I'm getting because I ask, what is he dealing with? For me, is more like he's focusing on stability and filling this cup, his own personal cup. In other words, a little self care here. I'm stepping back. I'm stepping back here in the process because these came out sideways. I'm in the process of stepping back, maybe filling my own cup, maybe just kind of thinking about starting over, either maybe looking at somebody from their past or, yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm so sorry I dropped the camera, making me dizzy just looking at it. I'm glad you're still here. Um, Taking a leap, or I get a strong feeling about dealing with family here, doing something with it. Hmm. You see what's at the bottom? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think he's, again, in process, what he's dealing with. I'm hearing a reset, actually, some kind of a reset after something that has made him, and I forget those words on here, and then I can't read them without my glasses. Yeah, some kind of a, yeah, finding peace, moving on, acceptance, self forgiveness, filling his cup, taking care of his own feelings, things that have been revealed. Yeah, he's coming out of something, I think. Coming out of something. Uh-huh, there it is. Some kind of an imbalanced third party, or not third party, excuse me. Coming out of a period of imbalance. Um yeah, not third party. Forget I said that. That's what I feel he's going through. Yeah, he's releasing, um trying to, things are coming to light, but releasing fears, moon in reverse, trying to get his inner strength back. um yeah, empress in reverse, strength in reverse, temperance in reverse. Now, to your question, I was led to pull from this deck, which is, my special deck, about his feelings toward you. I Now I gotta. It's like I can't get too close, too far away with the glasses. So I'm gonna answer the question: does he think or have feelings for me out of from this deck? He was at the bottom of the last reading. Ah, all right. So show me, please, what is he thinking or feeling about Michelle, or does he even? Please and thank you. Hmm. See, he doesn't know. He doesn't know the new you. This is what I'm getting. And sadly, he hasn't given that an opportunity. I get the feeling that he's still seeing you as someone, as the person that was going through the divorce, that was going through all that upheaval, that was lacking stability, and your money wasn't good, all that you went through. And why that's important was it. He was. I get this feeling with him that he was afraid. I'm saying past tense because this feels like old energy, and why I started with he doesn't know the new you. This is he feels this way about you because he doesn't know any. He only knows what the past was with you. He hasn't given you a chance. Um, because he still maybe sees you as is not stable. Somebody who's um ne- I heard the word needy. Now I don't mean my feeling about this is not you necessarily as a person. I don't think that he you might be somebody like if he got involved with somebody like you, he'd have to financially take care of you, and he does not want that. That's all the message I get off of this card here. Yeah, like yes, like backstory, yes. But it's like maybe it's like almost this is not the best analogy, but knowing someone from your past. Like, okay, here's an example. Knowing somebody from your past that was you knew in high school. We all have a person like this, right? And then you go to that 10 or 20 year class reunion, and they give awards out at most of them, and then they give an award for the person who's changed the most. And then that person, I remember seeing this person at my class reunion. It was a young girl. I mean, obviously in high school. I can't say I was friends with her, but I knew her, and she was overweight, and she wore braces, and and she gets the award at the class reunion for the most changed, and she was a knockout. She'd lost weight, she'd gotten in shape, had her teeth fit, all the things. And she was like a different person, and everybody was awestruck at how much she changed. But if we'd never seen that new her, we would still be thinking of her like the image we had from high school, right? And that's the feeling I'm getting here. Is he's not even wanting to give you a chance because he thinks you come with baggage. That's what I'm hearing. He is afraid he's gonna have to take care of somebody. Yep, and, presumably, I think you told me he's divorced. Presumably, that's a wound he's got now from past experiences. So much time has passed and so much has changed for me. Exactly, you're different, way different. Other side of the planet, different situation and person now. You're stronger. Okay, so I mean, that card is just it's like, oh, these other cards don't mean anything. But that's kind of the message here anyway. Like, so how does he feel about you? He's over here looking at this one. He's looking at the world and all the things out there, and it's like, sadly, I think he might be ignoring this one that you were in the past. I feel like that he's turned his back. He's looking, not really considering this. I'm sorry to say, because I think he just thought, well, I don't think I can fight for that anymore. I don't know that it's ever going to go anywhere, or that I am strong enough. Sometimes I get that meaning. The Nine of Wands is a wounded warrior. And I'm saying this for other people who don't know tarot. And so it means that this person has fought. Each and every one of these wands represents a battle that this person has fought and survived. But the journey isn't over. This is 9 wands. It doesn't end until you get to the 10th wand. So he's saying, I'm tired and I'm weary, but I got one more battle in me when it's in the upright. This is in reverse. And so I think he's saying, I think it's time to let go. I think it's time to just, I don't think that I got one more turn at that left. Mm-mm. And so I think he just is focusing on work these days. And back to this, I do think he's really working on himself too. Yeah, this is money and stability. The pentacles represent money, stability, and all that. But this feels to me more like pouring himself into work, possibly. But let me look at the bottom of the deck too. And now hold up before I. My God, and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse now, upright up there in reverse. Yeah, and there's 2 sides to this, and you know him and from the past too, but maybe I really feel this is a message for you. I don't think this is how he feels about you. I think this is a message for you that even if this person came back, maybe it would be overwhelming. And I have to say, maybe he feels this way about your situation. I just keep feeling like he saw you, but he couldn't just see you. He saw you and 4 boys and a single mom and money challenges, and he saw that whole, it wasn't just you as a person, that he couldn't just step away and see you in isolation. And I think that really is probably scared him. And so I've got these two, this combination. I've got the 2 of Pentacles with the Knight of Wands. And I'm trying not to read this the obvious way, but I feel like you might, if he came back, but we ask how he felt about you, but this is the understory. I don't know. He could say maybe he felt you were wanting to juggle him. I don't think that's the case because I've got, the 8 of Wands, communication about what? About passion. So oh, I get it. I get it. He might have thought, I remember you telling me you called him, and I'm not even looking at the comments. My bad. I should be. Hang on a minute. That's actually, yeah, I know. He wanted to be taken care of by a woman. We found out, but oh, I didn't know that. Seriously, I felt a lack of courage. Overwhelmed. Yes. Oh, I didn't know that, but that's very possibly. I just get this real heaviness around him having to take. I don't want to take care of anybody else, but this woman who has 4 kids, and no, I mean, it's just it was. He wasn't man enough. Can I just say that out loud? He was not man enough for you. It wasn't about you, sweetheart. It was about him. Mm-mm. That was about him. And so this is probably just saying he would have just come in and, treated you like just another option. Passion, gone, for the passion, and there would have been no stability in it anyway. Or this is saying if this were to happen again. Because I think the reality of spirit is saying, but you woke up, you know who you are. You have done the work and are doing the work. You are awakened. I don't think he is. I think he might be starting to, but he's way behind you. And I think Spirit's saying he wasn't who you thought he was, or no, he wasn't capable of being, you know, fulfilling your dreams and being who you wanted him to be. And I think Spirit saying, I think you got clarity about that. But anyway, that's not what you asked, I realize, but I felt like that was that was him. So this is kind of like dodging a bullet. Michelle, I have to say that. That's what this feels to me like. His girlfriend he had was about money. Ah, that's right. Vaguely remember that reading. Of course, and that's not what I want, right? Like a player, and I'm not having that. I know, right? And so I feel like the message, I just feel strongly like this is, even though we asked the question, because I know we talk a lot about how to read tarot, and I asked the question, how does he feel about you? And then I look at the bottom of the deck. So logic would say, well, this is more about how he feels about you. I really don't feel that energetically unless it's saying how I feel about you is that I would just want to come in and be this player. I really wouldn't want to do anything but just, you know, have some pleasure and there wouldn't be any stability. And I just maybe don't want to tell you that, but that's the truth because I know you're enlightened and and I can't be who you want me to be. Um, and sooner or later you'd have clarity about that, right? You'd get that new perspective and you'd realize that it couldn't be balanced between us. It couldn't never be fair between us. And I wouldn't give you the justice that you deserve. And then that would just be disappointment for you. And besides which, there'd probably be competition and all that. And so it really would end up not going anywhere. And maybe so this is like the 5D him, the spiritual person part of him, not the 3D him that's giving you this message. And that doesn't make him a bad person. That just makes him who he is, you know? I mean, it's not unlike my person. I mean, that's probably exactly the message I'd get from my person, my former person. Well, no, and I have to say, I caught myself because these first two I could have interpreted this as, oh, he's what's going on with him now? Well, he's got himself a Queen of Pentacles and he's newly in love. And I could make that leap because I got, yeah, and but that's not the way this felt to me. This because the question I asked was what's going on in his life. Well, maybe he is dealing with somebody like this, but that's not what it felt like at all. The energy felt like he's working on stability and you know, who knows? Maybe he is talking to somebody from his past, but this felt like family. This felt like maybe he's, I don't know. Anyway, I'm repeating myself. Well, I'm sorry. You know, I hate delivering downers. I hate delivering, but it just feels like, and honestly, I have to say, wait a minute. In the deep recesses, I think he probably does have some regret about this. I truly do. But I don't think the regret is just about, "Oh, well, I didn't ever get to know Michelle or didn't ever go down that road." I think it's the truth about, yeah, yeah, this is deep. The truth is I have regret because of all these fears that I couldn't overcome. I wasn't man enough. Can I just say that? I wasn't man enough. I didn't have the confidence. I knew that I couldn't bring this balance to this. That I'd probably always be looking for something else. But he would never say that. I'm not even sure he knows that consciously, but on some level, almost like he was his higher self was protecting you and because he knew that would hurt you ultimately. Um I know sometimes it can be a person or an injury, right? Of stability, correct? Yeah, you do know that. I knew you knew that. No, you don't. And I wish I had something nicer to say, but this just makes me feel like mm, he's gone out into the proverbial world and made another choice. And I'm not saying he's with anybody. I'm saying making a choice, not you, leaving you. I feel like you're this wand that he's leaving behind, sadly. Good for you, but sad for him because he missed out. He missed out on a good thing. Hmm. Ah, well, I hated it. I hated reading that. I'm sorry, Michelle. I'm sorry. I remember that. That's right. Someone new is coming. I do remember that. And who knows, maybe this person will grow up one day and, or I should say our people will grow up one day, but I'm not holding my breath anymore, for sure, for sure. I am not. That ship has sailed and I have landed on a new shore, quite literally moved. Well, I don't want to say never. Like he can't never, he will never, who knows? But it does feel that way, has felt that way. Although I have to say here again, this makes me feel like he's thinking back to things that he did. The hermit is reflecting. And I feel like this is his personal cup. He's reflecting back. He's reflecting back on the past, thinking, maybe I want to do something new, something different, right? I want my cup full. So I think he's at the precipice of starting to look at things, but not anywhere near where he needs to be yet to be your man. I deem him not ready. I have spoken. He's not man enough. The first time he had to stand up against one of those boys, and what are they doing without their devices tonight, by the way? Or did you give them back? Did they redeem themselves? I loved hearing that. Boy, I bet that was a wake up call for your boy. Got their attention though, didn't it? Well, I know, and that hurts. I've been facing some of that myself. That's the end of that. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, we have to keep moving. We do. Yes, we do. And I can tell you for myself, what helps me is, and I don't mean this in any, please don't take this wrong. I don't mean this in any kind of self righteous way, like I'm all that. I'm not. But I have to remind myself that we come into each other's lives for reasons. And for me, it was to, at the very least, establish good boundaries and work on self confidence and all those things as a woman. And I'm thankful he gave me that. He gave me that and he taught me, a lot. So that's just going to have to be enough for now, for this lifetime. It's okay. They're driving you crazy. No, they get mouthy and moved in on me and on this live, and I sent them to bed. I had a feeling that's why you disappeared for a little while. Well, at least they were entertained. They just wanted to put their faces in front of a screen, didn't they? That's bad. When they're so desperate for screen time, they'll watch this old lady. They'll. Oh gosh, that's funny. Funny, not funny. Okay, Mish. Well, I'm sorry that had to be what it is, but it is what it is. One second. Oh, that's backwards. Shucks. It is backwards. It says it is what it is. That's my it is what it is pillow. I forget the letters are backwards when you show it on the phone. Well, exactly. I know. And look how you ventured out. It set you down a path, didn't it? It set you down a whole different path than you would have experienced. I can't get that to stay. There we go. I love that. I have videos uploaded on this channel to see the real deal. Uh-huh. It's all right. So now we both know. Yes, we do. Indeed, we do. Yep. And guys, if you came late to the live, let me say one more time, Mishi Bear has started her own tarot channel. I am so thrilled for her. She's an excellent reader. That's why we kind of talk tarot in the middle of our reading. And post it again, Mish, for those of who were coming as late viewers to the chat. Oh my God, are you serious? You can read backwards as a I bet you can. I just bet you can. Oh my God. Well, I know then that would be a different kind of getting over them because I'm gonna tell you that lingers. Oh, that lingers. But we're not gonna go there now. All right. Well, I'm gonna move to Miss Tina's reading. So, Miss Tina, if you're here, please post your question in the chat and we will see what comes up for you. Yes, literally. I know. There we go. Misha's channel is called Grace Happens Daily. So you guys, you can see that in the chat and just copy and paste. And I'm telling you, she's a great reader. And we are going to do a collab at some point. Yes, she started doing readings. And I don't know if she's going to do private readings. We hadn't talked about that or what she's doing on that realm. It is a superpower. Reading upside down and backwards. It's totally a superpower. Oh, good. Look, Jules is going to subscribe. That's awesome. That's awesome, Jules. And she does these daily tarot little shorts that are so well done. I have to say again. Yeah. All right, Miss Tina, post your question for me. Oh, wait, did you? Wait. Oh, wait a minute. I missed it. Hang on. How does my career look for the future? Oh, I can see it now. What deck for Tina? This one or that one? I'm not sure which one they want me to. Why are you? This one, I think. Okay. Oh, come on, guys. Which one? I don't know. Weird. Put that back over there. Okay. All right. So let's see what is coming for Tina's career. What's happening? Show us what's happening. What might be coming toward Tina in her career. Please and thank you. Whoops. Hold on. Ooh, we like that. Some kind of victory. I like that. Now I'm asking if they want me to keep those cards. I'm going to keep them. You about to rise to the top. I don't know what you're doing here, but this is the King of Wands who is an entrepreneur. So I don't know if it could be meaning boss energy, meaning you're bossing up or you're I mean this could even be, I'd have to say this could be getting a promotion of some kind. But or you know, and this speaks of your um, abilities as a natural leader. That's excellent to get. That's an excellent combination to get in a career reading too. Overcoming challenges. Now, and speaking of challenges, that's what this represents. This is someone standing on the high ground, meaning they have defended their territory, this high ground, against all of these other people. Every one of these wands represents somebody trying to knock them off their high ground, so to speak. And so, you've claimed the high ground now, and you're defending that high ground, or about to. We ask what's coming. Um, and there's some perseverance in this, but it means to me as a reader, that's keeping the high ground, keeping what you've worked for. I've missed some chat here. Sorry about that, guys. Let me one minute. I didn't realize my chat wasn't going forward. Okay, good. Michelle was answering me. She says, I do want to do private readings. Awesome. And then she's going to go live at some point. I love that. Yep, yep. She's good, y'all. You'll really enjoy her readings. Oh, Jules, that's so sweet. She's saying, love you. Thank you both. Lovely, gentle energy here. So much appreciated. Thank you. You just don't know how much that means to me, because that's what we try to do here. I try to keep it clean-ish, and supportive, certainly supportive. My regulars are very supportive here. We're about, life's tough. We try to lift each other up. So I'm glad you could feel that energy. Thank you for saying that, Jules. Um, okay, now we're back to Tina. She's saying this resonates. Oh, good. Oh, good, good, good. Well, truth is noted. Yes, truth. Amen. And authentic. I mean, I have little known tidbit. This is a factoid about Darlene. That would be me. Is I don't even know. I've lost count of how many videos, how many hundreds of videos I guess I have here on my channel. But I have never edited one of them for two reasons, as I was saying earlier. One, because I'm an artist and I would go down that rabbit hole and have so much fun with it, I'd never come out and I'd never get anything accomplished. That's one reason. But two, I mean, I'm authentic. What you see is what you get. You don't like my vibe, that's okay. There's a million other tarot readers out there, but I think it's important to be authentic, and so I'm glad that some of that's coming through over here on our live. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let me get back to Tina's reading. Yeah, we got some people here. I got a King of Wands. There's also a King of Cups. You got some kind of new opportunity coming here. Okay, let me get some more flowers here for you. So far, so good. But you did have to. I mean, I don't know if this is the quintessential corporate climb that you've had to do. Ooh, that's a lot. Let's see. But yeah, this high ground, that's good. You saw me shuffling, and this King of Cups I just spoke about is still there. There he is. Let's see now. Let's see. I'm gonna have to put these back somewhere. Hang on, hang on. Gotta make some room here. Okay, there we go. Um, no, that's separate. All right, this is a different down here. Okay. Well, we asked the question, what's coming toward you? Now, as you may have heard me say earlier, sometimes tarot gives me the backstory, but I feel like this is future. And what this is saying here is you may experience more responsibility, and it may in the future. Um, and it may be because you're having to, maybe you're fighting or trying to, really go the extra mile because you want some position or promotion or something. I don't know what your kind of work you do, but this is saying in the future, assuming this is future, and you may be feeling this now. I kind of feel like you might be. You're feeling like there's a lot. I mean, this is the 10 of Wands. This is a heavy, heavy burden. But what's significant is that it's the 10 of Wands. That means it's the end of carrying this heavy, heavy burden. You have to put this down. You just can't carry it forever. You can't sustain these 10 Wands. And the good news is it resets to an Ace of Wands, which is a brand new, passionate beginning. So I feel like that's what's happening. And then we have the Page of Swords in reverse. Now, we don't like this in reverse. This could be people gossiping. This could be people spying on you. This could be, anything from office talk to um, monitoring your emails. So I would look out for that. Or, or if this is already happening, you tell me that. Tell me this has already been happening. Um, this can also be a lack. I mean, it can be the other end of that, a lack of communication. Maybe you feel like you've got to keep your mouth shut. So, guarding what you say. Okay. Okay. Tina's saying absolutely people gossiping and office talk. That's kind of, yeah, that's what this felt like to me. Now, here, um, yeah, because you want to avoid this. The 5 of Wands, that's the card of, it's, it's similar to the 7, but different. And this talks about rivalry, conflict, competition, disagreement, strife, tension. Um, and so I think they're saying, yeah, there's gossip and all that. So I'm keeping my mouth shut because I don't want any more of that. And you're also telling me this is what you're dealing with in your environment. Oh, and here's another one. You're saying, and yes, definitely need to guard myself. Feel like I have to prove myself as a new supervisor. Okay. That because that feels like, yeah, I felt there was a promotion in here somewhere. I wasn't sure if it had already happened. Um, yeah, because I'm trying to. There's a weird energy off of this card, so let me feel this. Okay, yeah, I'm making more of it than I need to. Probably, it's just it's explaining why you're about this gossip and why you're having to watch yourself and all this. This is such a classic office nonsense. Is what I call it, nonsense, where everybody, backstabbing and gossiping and trying to get one up on everybody else. That's what this feels like to me. It's the Justice card in reverse. Now, there's two things. One, this feels like that's explaining why, because things just aren't fair. They're not balanced. And, one person could say one thing and you get fired and then you didn't even do it. And that's, so you have to feel that's why you feel so guarded. I've got to guard what I say here. Um, also, there's an element with this card in your environment of lack of accountability. And I'm hearing people are getting away with things they shouldn't. That was just came through me. People are getting away with things here. You're observing people either are, have been, or will be getting away with things they shouldn't be. Yes, definitely. Yeah, improvement. Okay. Lots of cattiness. Yeah, that's the perfect word for this, cattiness. Shallowness also. Oh, but backstabbing, cattiness. Yes, absolutely. Um, well, okay. So you are a person with a big heart. And that's another reason you feel like you have to guard yourself here. You don't want to appear to these people, since you're a supervisor, as being too, uh, well, too vulnerable. You don't want to expose yourself and be vulnerable, too vulnerable. You also don't want to appear, excuse me, because sadly, appearances do matter in this world. Um, as someone who's in their feelings too much. In other words, this is kind of, this person makes a better boss than this person. He's a good person. I'd rather hang out with this guy. But as a boss, he might be tempted to lead with his emotions. And so I think you're realizing that's another place where you have to guard yourself and be cautious, right? Absolutely, they want to cut corners. Yeah, well, I feel that. There's some. I'm surprised the Seven of Swords hasn't come out here. So I feel like this is you, and because the King of Cups is different than the Queen of Cups. He he is an emotional person, and I don't mean emotional like weepy cry. I mean he feels. He's not afraid to feel his emotions, right? And he's an emotionally balanced person. Okay, he's a diplomat. I love that, and a supportive leader. But he can also, this can also be representing tolerance and empathy and all the things that sadly sometimes you can't afford to be with people who are like this. You're saying, and they, and even tell me they want to cut corners. Oh, right. Of course they do. That's so helpful to discuss and how to lead. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, you're welcome because there's nothing, I don't want you to think that this isn't okay. You need to be who you are at the same time. I feel like Spirit's saying, but in this environment, you need to lead like this guy. Yeah. Um, and not because here's what I'm feeling. What I'm feeling is if you were to lead like this, people would take your kindness for weakness. They would take your kindness for weakness. And I think they would take advantage of that. So, and yeah, yeah, okay. The lesser of the two evils. Yeah. Cause so I think, um, did you have to make a choice or or either, this was, no, this is you. You had to make a choice about this promotion, didn't you? Were you deciding between this and another job maybe? That's what this feels like. Or yeah, because you were confused, and now I think you've gotten clarity about what, maybe it's just saying you've gotten clarity about this job since it's a new job. This is a really nice big, um, oh yeah, but um, yeah, this talks about abundance in all its form. This is the hand. Let me put this down. This is the universe coming in, handing you, offering you this great, big, wonderful opportunity here that's represented by the Ace of Pentacles. So this is a good opportunity for you, and I think it's gonna, your career and your yeah, I think this job, your career path, whatever you're doing here, is gonna move fast. You think you're gonna make very fast progress. You're saying, yes, a great job with many more leadership. I love that. And way more abundance, but lots to learn. Yes, I know. I feel that. But, and yet, I think you're very capable. This did not come in the upright because you don't, this only comes out when you have the ability. You already have the skills or you wouldn't be in this job. So don't second guess your abilities here. You just might not have the experience in this position yet, but you have the skills. Yep. Isn't that fabulous? I know. So I think this is just a typical off. No, I shouldn't say that. They're not all like this typical office environment. But again, I feel like if you're not careful, this is just a bit of a warning. If you're not careful, you might. I'm sorry, about to cough. Excuse me. You might find yourself. I want to word this. In other words, don't back to that king. Remember, not leading with your emotions. It will be tempting because it's who you are innately. So the hard part about this is going to be not doing that for you. For you, I think, because you might tend to tip over into moodiness and disappointed probably in how these people are acting like knuckleheads down here. And you might get into your emotions if you run into something that's disappointing. So that's the caution here. And then you might start second guessing yourself and your self-worth, and your money might be affected. Like, for example, if you go into those kind of negative thoughts and your salary is dependent on contributing to the bottom line in some way, like a bonus or whatever, then that could affect your income. um, but it can also, interestingly enough, in this deck, it also talks about obsession with work. So, it's asking you to also be mindful of that. hmm So, I um, this is a card that talks about leading with action. Every suit has its qualities. The wands are about action, movement, big picture, overcoming challenges, visionary, being the visionary, career focused, yeah, all those things. So don't let all of this nonsense down here. This is just a cautionary tale. Don't let it put you into this state, and then you start doubting yourself and having cloudy judgment. Mishy Bear, good night. I'm sending you a huge hug, and I can't wait to see your next video. I'm so excited for your channel. And as always, thank you so, so, so much for being here and moderating for me tonight. I just couldn't think about doing this without you and all the help you have been for me. So, sending you a big hug, my friend, and have a great night. Tell your boys I said hey. Thank them for popping in on the live. Let me see what Jules is saying. Mhm. And resonates, though, knowing what my triggers are is proving helpful. Yes, there you go, for not being overwhelmed with negative thoughts and outside influence. Yes, true. Yes. And so when you can do that, then that will be what sustains you for the long term. So this is just like learning the overall bottom line, learn balance, learn how to balance your emotions. And that's what this card talks about. This is balance. This is giving equally. Um, excuse me. This is also sharing your wealth, generosity, charity, but it's giving and receiving, finding balance with that. And when you do that, look here. Now you've got the match to the King of Wands, now the Queen of Wands. So we're kind of circling back to that very similar energy about be confident, courageous, independent, be determined. I love that. I love that for you. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah. But lead with this King of Wands energy, not the King of Cups. So sorry, excuse me. True. Well, watching my emotions and getting over focused on my job. Yep, I'm glad I came as kings. You did. You did come out as kings, and I love that you know that. Yep, there was just this one page over here. He was the caution, for the, and I think that was really more about the people in the workplace because they would come in as a page, weren't they? When they're acting like this, they would come in as immature. Yeah, very immature. And yes, you came in two kings. Two kings. Yep, here you are. But I love how these came out. This says it very clearly. You will maintain, as we said in the beginning, your ability. I'm going to read this a little differently. Your ability to keep your high ground here, the position, and keep things where you want it to be and have the victory is coming from the energy of the King of Wands, acting like the King of Wands here. So come from the wands, not the heart so much. You do that in your time off on the weekends. You can rock those pink bunny slippers on the weekends, but not at the office. I'm kidding. Balance is the opposite of chaos. Oh, yes, it is. Amen. And peace. Peace. It's the opposite of chaos. All right. Well, I think this is a very positive, very, very positive reading. It looks like things are working in your favor. You're doing great. I feel like confidently you've got the skills. I can feel that. Just got to keep doing what you're doing. Apparently, it's working. And don't second guess yourself. And like I said, don't lead with your heart. Bottom line. And I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Yes, you thought it was. Oh, and you don't have to wear a bra on the weekends too. I'm just saying. That's a big thing. I should not say that here on the live, but I did. And women worldwide know what I'm saying. I'm just oh, even a few enlightened men know what that means. Oh, boy, that's the first thing most women do. It's a toss up between which one you take off first, that or your shoes when you come to the door, right? Yep. She knew, you knew. Nancy knows. Yep. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I don't think you have a thing in the world to worry about, Miss Tina. I think you got a handle on all that. You know what to do. You're already doing it. That's basically what tarot is saying. You're already doing what you need to do. So, congratulations on the promotion. You've earned it. Yep, you have. All right, I'm gonna just get those shuffled and call that completed. Oh, well, good. Well, thank you. I'm glad it was helpful and reassuring. I'm always glad to do that. And thank you, Tina, for buying a reading tonight and supporting me here and my channel and my little old gray self over here on YouTube. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it, and I hope you'll come back. Okay, well, Misha signed off for tonight. This was my last reading, so I'm going to say goodnight to you guys, and thank you, everybody, for contributing your great energy tonight here on my live. I appreciate each and every one of you, and as far as I know, Lord, as we say here in the South, Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, I'll see y'all next Sunday, if not sooner. So, wishing everybody a wonderful week and many, many blessings, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.